guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball, HTB. Hope all is well. Thanks again guys for tuning in, I appreciate it very much. Hope you're being good this nice afternoon here anyway. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're new, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. But let's get straight into it. So look, this is round 23. It's a pretty hectic round for the bottom teams, particularly those who are, from 13 up. There's definitely a lot of mathematical chances there. A lot of equations there that could work their way. However, in saying that, probably for some teams a bit too little too late. However, I've called this this round here NRL Round 23, the math round. But look, in saying that, let's get into it. So we've got the Titans who are 8th against the Storm in a game that I've called 6 clashed. And the reason why I've said that is the Titans lost to the Rabbitohs 36-6 and the Storm beat the Raiders 26 points to 16. So you can sort of see the relation there of the sixes. Look, Titans, well, look, their journey has been somewhat bumpy. We've seen some sort of clear things and we haven't seen clear things, I suppose, with the Storm. They're consistent. The Titans, some of the key ins are Fogarty, who makes a return halfback, as well as Campbell. And we also have McIntyre there. And then for the Storm, you have the likes of Jennings, who makes a return. Johns over 17, as well as Seve, who returns to centre. And Grant, I think it's a debut. I'm not too sure there. And then the outs are Brimson for Toika, as well as Sexton for the Titans. Sexton a bit unlucky there, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, especially during the crunch time. And Smith, Finucane, as well as Hughes and Olam are some of the noticeable outs there. Look, for the key players, I've got for the Titans, I've got for the props there, I've got Wallace as well as Fa'asua Maliawi, and then I've got Mazu as well as Fifita to, sort of compensate and try and do something there. For the Storm, I've got Pappenhausen, who makes a return at his starting spot fullback, and I've got Bromwich as well as Walsh to be the props there for the key players, as well as Josh Addo-Carr. Look, overall in this game, I think it's going to be, it's going to be one-sided. There was talks of Munster saying that they need a loss. I don't think it's going to be here. I think the Titans will beat themselves. Miracle if the Storm do lose this one here, but look, for me personally, Storm to win. Second game sees the Raiders against the Manly Sea Eagles here in a game that I've called Impossible Raid. You might find out why. Raiders are 9th, Manly is 5th. Obviously, Manly are looking to get into that top 4 spot. Raiders coming off an honourable loss against the Storm, 26-16, and Manly coming off an absolute whopping win over the Eels there, which I thought was a training run for them, ultimately winning 56 points to 10. Raiders, their key ins is Nicoll-Klokstad, who makes his return back, which is going to be good to see. And for the Sea Eagles, they got Sipley, who makes a return. Key outs for the Raiders is Corey Harawira-Naira, as well as Croker and Tom Starling. And then for the Sea Eagles, you've got Parker, who's out for obvious reason last week regarding Madison. The key players for me to look out for, you've got, Nicoll-Klokstad back, as well as Papali and Whiten. It's virtually an unchanged lineup, really. And then I've got for the Manly, you've got Tom Trbojevic, Saab, as well as Schuster. Again, I can name the halves, I can name the hooker there, I can name the centres. You get my point there. I think Manly from 1 to 13 are pretty covered there, plus their bench. But look, in this game here, just to make it short and sweet, Manly for me, I think they'll be too good, too clinical. They're definitely making a run, and a good run at that. Third game sees the Panthers, who will play 2nd, against the Rabbitohs, who are 3rd. And I've called this game here the match of the round. It's pretty, it's probably a stark difference to what it was probably a few months ago when the Panthers played the Rabbitohs, right? Obviously, Rabbitohs hosting the Panthers there, where the Panthers absolutely belted them. It was actually a big score margin there. But it's a different story this time around, particularly with some of the key players out. And I suppose Panthers with a slight dip in form. Rabbitohs definitely rising to the occasion. Some of the key players for the Panthers, you've got Gore Sau as well as Capel, who makes a return. Gore Sau hooker and Capel as well, 17. And then you've got in the reserves, David Tapangai Jr. as well as James Fisher-Harris. Now, whether they are put in or not is yet to be seen. For the Rabbitohs, you've got Johnston, who makes a return. Again, multiple try scorer. And then you've got Graham as well as Gagai. The noticeable out is Bowler and Burns. Now, for the key players I've got here is Cleary, Gore Sau, Kikau, and also sort of like a question mark, depending if you bring him back, James Fisher-Harris as well as Tevita Pangai Jr. I think those two players there, if brought back, they can definitely add more punch to this team, which is, really needed, especially in the forward pack. And then for the Rabbitohs, I've got, look, simple as anything. I've got Mitchell, Gagai, Murray, you've got Arrow, Kolomatangi. Again, just a solid unit overall, and let's not even talk about the halves there. I'm going to go with the Panthers here. I think they should dig deep here. Game 4, we see the Tigers against the Sharks in a game that I've called desperate climb. Both teams are desperate. Tigers are 13th, Sharks are 10th, but both those teams can still make a mathematical climb at the 8. And again, it's do or die for these teams, really. Whoever loses this, I think, is out, really. So, look, the Tigers, the key ins are Tamo as well as Roberts. And then for the Sharks here, you have Hiroti as well as Tej Wilton, who makes a return. And the key outs are Little as well as Mikaele. And then for the Sharks, you have Tolman as well as Fifita. And again, best wishes to Fifita there as he looks to recover. And I hope all is well there. Look, overall, the key players here for the Tigers, I have is Dewey, Twal, and Roberts to make impact off the bench. And then for the Sharks, I have Raymond, Kennedy, and Brayley. And I think at their hooking position against a team like the Tigers could prove to be the difference there, which is what I think the Sharks might do. Look, in saying that, obviously, Tigers coming off a good win against the Cowboys and the Sharks coming off a narrow loss to the Knights. There's desperation there. I think, personally, if I was to pick, I think the Sharks do this. I think we sort of see the fall of the Tigers from this point on, unfortunately, but Sharks for me. The 5th game sees the Bulldogs against the Knights in a game that I've called the fight in the dog. Look, Bulldogs, they've been losing a lot now. I'm sure they're due for one more win. Could this be it? We'll see. The Bulldogs have Thompson back at prop, Allen as well as Torpine and Waddell. And then the Knights have Saulo as well as Randall. Key outs are Marshall King as well as Katoa for the Bulldogs. And then you've got their Knights who have Saifiti and Frizzell. And they're pretty big outs there too. Some of the key players to look out for the Bulldogs, I've got Okumbo as well as the Raider players, right? Ryan James and Corey Holsborough. I think they're superb. Thompson as well, you can add into that, as well as Shoop. And then for the Knights, you've got Ponga. Then you've got Barnett as well as Mitchell Pearce, who should be, they're ready to move the ball around. Look, for this game here, I have, I've titled it as such. Now, whether it ends up like that, I'm not too sure. But for me personally, I'm going to be going with the Bulldogs. I'm going for an upset here. Stuff it. I'm going for the upset. I'm going to go for the Bulldogs here to do something that we probably do not expect. Why not? So Bulldogs for me. So the 6th game here, you have the Eels against the Cowboys in a game that I've called Slimy Rope for obvious reason. Eels, Cowboys. Some of the ins are Benisini at centre as well as Galfusi for the Eels. And then for the Cowboys, you have Tabuai Fido and also Jason Taumarolo in the reserves. Key outs are Madison as well, Oldfield as well as Opecic. And then for the Cowboys, you have Lemuelu as well as Griffin Neem. And any of you guys are Cowboy fans, can you tell me why Griffin Neem is out? All right, and so for the key players, I've got for the Eels, Sivo, and then you've got the props, Paulo as well as Papali'i, and then you've got Blake. And then for the Cowboys, I've got Robson, Lucky, as well as Hess. Look, the Eels haven't been travelling too well, not to go too long on this. It's a desperate game for both teams. Cowboys looking down the barrel of 9 losses. The Eels sort of just falling out, I suppose, following this typical stereotype that we have of them coming near the finals. In saying that, though, there's a lot of pride on the line here for both teams. I do think, though, however, this might be the game that the Eels do need to bounce back. Cowboys, though, they could, but I don't think they can. I think the Eels will be too good, so the Eels for me. And the 7th game we have is the Dragons against the Roosters. And this game here I've called Not Your Typical Animal. And the reason why I've said that is because, Dragons and the Roosters, and this game here, Roosters are actually a pretty good team. They're actually a pretty intimidating animal. Not so much in the fairy tales, but definitely in the NRL. And now the key ins are Sims, who's back at lock. And then you've got Sullivan as well as Alvaro. And then for the Roosters, we have Jared White, Hargreaves, as well as Thomas. And I think it's a debut. Not sure. Can you tell me if I'm wrong? And then for the Dragons, still the key players I've got is Dufty, Sims, as well as Rava Lawa. And then for the Roosters, I have Jared White, Hargreaves, Manu, as well as Tupou Niua. But look, in saying that, again, Dragons are desperate, right? Coming off a loss against the Penrith Panthers. Again, they too are part of that 8 equation. And then the Roosters were comfortably in at 4th. Just winning over the Broncos, though. So again, sort of some dynamics here at play for both teams. It's one of those games where you shouldn't be fooled, I suppose, by the recent results there. But for me personally, look, I'm going to be tipping my hat here towards the Dragons. I think the Dragons will do something here. So I'm going to be tipping the Dragons there for me. All right, so the 8th game sees the Broncos who host the Warriors. Now, it's the last game too. I actually do a review on the game, a bit of an analysis where I go in depth and give you guys the players as well as sort of my thoughts and predictions and all that stuff there. So stay tuned for that one there. That'll be posted up very soon. But yeah, guys, that does it for my tips there. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the upcoming Broncos vs Warriors preview there. Look, thanks again, guys, for watching. I appreciate it very much. It's going to be a pretty hectic round, I think. But look, in saying that, before I go, obviously you guys know I do a HTB guarantee where I talk about my thoughts on it. So the game that I'm going to be picking is the Panthers to beat the Rabbitohs. So there it is, the Panthers to beat the Rabbitohs, HTB guarantee. But yeah, guys, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. Stay tuned for the upcoming preview. Be well, and hey, if your team wants to win, what they're to do, hold the ball. See you guys next time.